Hey, welcome back, and thank you for being awesome. We're getting ready to start. Kretzbeck is at 369, 10 damage. And I do have the ability to do this cleave here. I also wanted to heal. I can't do both. So I'm going to go ahead and cleave. So I'm going to roll 2 dice, and 3, 6, 9, 10. So even if these guys all hit me, I'm going to survive this. That's been the thing I'm concerning about. But I'm gonna roll these 2 dice, and we're gonna try to do some hits. You read that correctly. There's a whopping 14 hit points for this thing. He's gonna try to behead the party leader. That's not cool. So I need to get healed. So actually, I'm not going to cleave. I'm going to regroup. I have to. So let's do this. I'm going to regroup, and I'm going to spend 2 activation tokens. Remember, you're limited in only being able to spend 2. Or should I just do damage and spend 2 activation tokens? Nope, I'm going to do this. So I get to roll 1 white die and 2 black. Now, one thing to note is that the card gives me a +1 shield automatically, so that might be helpful. I am not going to be able to claim the success token because I still had the cleave card, which stinks. I really would have liked to cleave. I'm just fearing that with him being the party leader, he's just going to get blasted with damage here. Nobody else is going to be able to heal him. Yeah, so we're gonna heal. So they're both doing damage, which is bad, but he did get 1 success and a 2nd success with a shield. So he has 2 shields, which blocks the 2 damage from Rita. We don't do any of this stuff. And then 1 damage from the zombie is going to come through. So he gets another damage from the zombie. But we got 1, 2, 3 successes. No, 4 successes, because I had a critical success. So I get to heal 4. So I'm going to take this 1 and then 3 from here. And he was able to heal 4, which was good. And then he gets all of his cards back. I think the part I'm just still reeling over is how brutal the upgrades are in this. Okay, so Astara is up. Astara can rest or attack, and we're going to for sure attack. And we have to decide who we're going to attack. We get to do a range. And so I'm going to attack... so we can target an additional enemy and add 1 star to the results. There's just so many choices here. We can take the zombies, of course. These dark priests are going to cause issues. All 3 of these are going to want to stay in the shadows. So unless I range attack them, they're not going to do anything. But Kretzbeck is in trouble. I'm going to help out Ashrian and attack the zombie that's on her. So I get to roll 2 dice and 2 critical successes. 3, 4, 5 critical successes, and I should have exhausted a card so I can target a 2nd enemy. And I didn't. I'm pretty sure I have to say who I was attacking. Or do I just... Okay. Sorry. It just says you perform the following steps in order, and it doesn't even say I have to target an enemy. I'm assuming I do. So anyways, I targeted the zombie, and I mean, what I was hoping for is, could I just say I'm helping Ashrian? It doesn't matter which enemy is on Ashrian. I get to see the results of my die and then choose to either hit the sentinel or hit the zombie. That's what, can I roll my dice and then decide who I'm hitting anywhere on the board? Like, did I have to declare my target? And here's the thing, it doesn't say I have to declare my target. It just says roll dice, resolve dice. Hero resolves the results on their hero dice. That's all it says. And then if you go further up, it doesn't say, you know, that you have to select your target. So I think I'm doing an attack action, and I just got 5 successful attacks, and now I get to decide where I'm going to apply it. That's going to be my my conclusion. So I don't get to do a second target, though, because that I needed to do before resolving this action. So 5 successes. Where do I go? Eeny, meeny, miny, mo. I'm going to kill the hybrid sentinel, just because it requires 4 hits, and I had enough. So that alone makes it worth taking out. So that resolves that. So now we get to the thief, who only has this caution, and I'm going to go ahead and do this, and I can exhaust a minion engage with me. I don't have one. I'm going to roll 1 white die, and I had 1 success. And if all of my activation cards are exhausted, choose 1 enemy in the shadows, and they suffer 1 damage. So I'm looking at this, and I can kill this Dark Priest outright. So I'm going to do that. And then I get to ready all my cards. So I'm going to ready all my cards, which is fantastic. I heal 1 damage, also fantastic. And then this weakened state says, at the end of your activation, at the start of your activation, if all of your activation cards are ready, so that didn't happen. But it will happen next turn. I'll get rid of this next turn. So I have to either exhaust a card, which is awful. Don't do that, because if I exhaust a card, then I don't satisfy the top condition. And then I have to, I'm basically suffering the damage I just healed. So that's that. And unfortunately, we're at the end again. So now we're at the monster phase. We're starting with Krutzbeck, and he's going to go ahead and resolve the zombie. Yeah, the zombie is going to grab him, advance, and then inflict. So he's going to take 1 damage from the inflict. The grab makes him exhaust 1 of his cards. So he's going to exhaust the Explorer card. And then the zombie's done. So I'm going to just turn it over. We get to Astara here. Astara is going to take 1 damage from the Witcher. That's out in the shadows. And Astara is done. And then we get to Tethyrus. And Tethyrus will take the Dark Priest, who is going to weaken her again. So she's already weakened, so that's one of the reasons she took it. And then the Dark Chant, and then, then it inflicts her for, 1 damage. So the Dark Priest is done. And we just have to resolve these last 2. So I'm going to just turn this over because we're done. This one automatically got exhausted because of Ashrian's ability. and this just flipped over, and I can't remember what they were. I think she was at 6 damage. And then this is, he's going to retreat, inflict, and then behead. So 2 damage, and then you have to either exhaust a card or suffer 2 more damage. So it's going to retreat. We're going to suffer 2 damage. So he's back up to 10. And then he's going to exhaust another card, the protect card. Now, some of you might be screaming, you forgot to do Ashrian's turn. And I just realized that. So Ashrian, on her turn, was going to do this Calming Presence. So let's resolve that. She had 1 person on her. And so we're going to roll 2 white dice and a black. The black die was perfect. And we have 2 successes and a shield. So the 2 successes means she's going to heal 2 damage. So that part's awesome. And if all of your other activation cards are exhausted, and they were, choose one hero. That hero recovers 2 and may exhaust 1 enemy engaged. Oh! So that means Krutzbeck is going... So this needed to happen before we dealt with all the monsters. So that means Rita would not have activated. I would have exhausted her. So Rita caused this card to be exhausted. So we're going to take that back. I'm going to take back the 2 damage from Rita, and then it's healing, because Rita caused 2 damage, and that never happened because Rita was exhausted. And then also Ashrian was able to heal 2, so I'm going to take back 4 health. So Krutzbeck is back up to 6. So this was actually a really good choice because of the ability to heal other people at the same time. And then, of course, she's going to ready all of her cards. So I'm liking the Spirit Speaker class. I think it's a very, very slick class for this game. So we go to the peril phase. This moves up by 1. I'm going to discard 1 token from our scout and 1 token from Ashrian. And we're going to do that so we can place a token. And I'm learning my lesson. We need to put it on blue up close. So we're going to go ahead and do that. And now we do the travel phase. And everybody's taking 1... Oh, no. It's only... You take a damage if you have an exhausted card. Our scout and our priest do not, or a druid. So only the 2 in the middle are going to take damage. And I'm going to take the damage. I'm not going to worry about the... Well, actually, the mage will take the damage, but I'm going to go ahead and exhaust the card Protect. Krutzbeck is going to be doing 2 things, healing and killing. And not necessarily in that order. So that'll be the new tagline, FFG. Krutzbeck is healing and killing. For Descent, 3rd edition. Okay, it is our turn. I cannot change party leader. So Krutzbeck has taken the blows. We need to explore. I think our situation with the monsters is settling down a little better. But we need to explore. But Krutzbeck himself is going to attack. Besides, he doesn't have an explore card anyway. So we're going to cleave. And that means rolling 2 dice. We're not engaging any more enemies. And we can target up to 2. So rolling 4 dice total. The black dice were perfect. I am rolling really well, folks, in the black dice department. And then here are 3 successes, which is also pretty darn good. So 2 of those successes will kill this. And that allows me to do an automatic damage on Jaina Wells. If I would have done it the other way around, I would have not killed Jaina Wells, and this would have stayed alive. So that's the only way I could have gotten rid of the zombie. So I'm okay with that. That's 1 less thing to bother Krutzbeck. And And now we move to the mage. The mage has no choice but to study the runes. So we can exhaust a minion. We don't have any. We get to rest. And if all of your other activation cards are exhausted, add +1 to the rest results, which is good in our case. So we're going to roll 1 die here. And we got 1 success, which becomes 2. And so healing 2 damage was very appreciated for the mage. So we're going to heal 2, and all the cards are back. So now we get to the thief. The weakened status goes away because we are fully replenished. And I'm going to explore because the thief has nobody on her. Attacking would be nice, but we're going to explore. It's 2. An aid actually would be really nice, but we're going to explore. I'm going to keep repeating it so I don't talk myself out of it. And then here's the 2 we're going to draw and deal with later. And there we go. 3 successes for the explorer. I will take that. That puts us up to 5. And let's draw the 2. We can take, you may discard this card before or after a hero's activation. If you do, that hero recovers 4 health. You may discard this card after a hero's activation. If you do, each enemy in the shadow suffers 1 damage. I think both of those are pretty good, but I'm going to take the healing potion. And I'm going to put this on top of the deck because that's a good one. We can draw that later. So, Thiefy McThieferson is done. And now we go to Ashrian. And Ashrian is dealing with a zombie, but we don't care. So here's our choice. Do we have to do aid. We have to. And here's why. We need tokens so we can get onto the blue spot. We don't have any tokens to put on here. We need success tokens. They're all used up except for 1, and we need 2, remember? So aid is the way we're going to get those. I was going to explore. That's what I was contemplating, was exploring. But instead we're going to aid, and guess what? Whoever we aid is going to heal 2 damage. So this is win-win. And we're going to aid Krutzbeck, of course. So so let's do that. And then, of course, Krutzbeck is going to be able to ready an activation card. So we're going to get Cleave back, because that's all Krutzbeck does is swing his axe. So I have 2 of those and 1 of these. So not too fantastic here. And then that is not fantastic. So this causes me to take 1 damage. So 1 damage is going on to Ashrian. And then we had 1 success. And only 1 success. So this is going to go on to Krutzbeck. But Krutzbeck is going to heal 2. And so we're going to do that. And all in all, that was still a successful aid action. So now we're going to do the monster phase, and this is where it hurts. The Rita Wallace is going to hit Krutzbeck. So the first is going to retreat, then inflict, and then behead. So we can exhaust a card or suffer 2 damage. The inflict is suffer 2 damage. So Krutzbeck will take the 2 damage, and this will become a 3. And then Krutzbeck is just going to get rid of the cleave card. Yeah, we'll do that. Killing isn't that important. He can just heal next round. So Rita Wallace is done. I'm going to just go ahead and exhaust her off camera here. Astara will take the Goblin Witcher, which is in the shadows, for 1 damage. No, Astara is going to take the Dark Priest for 1 damage. And then the Dark Priest is going to weaken Astara. And you guys may have guessed why I'm doing this. Astara is at full health. So that weaken card is going to go away immediately. It won't impact her at all. So, and just a reminder, it's what the dark chant does. So, yes, I'm going to take 1 damage with our thief and deal with the witcher. And I'm realizing that the thief would have used this healing potion. No, it would not have. Never mind. Never heard anything from me. And an Ashrian, of course, at the start of her turn, would have exhausted this. And that's all the enemies, by the way, folks. There's nobody else left. So the mage and the thief exhausted these 2. So we're done there, and now we're going to move up on the peril phase. But before we do that, we are going to discard two of these and get a second token there on blue. And now we are on the blue phase. So here's the deal. You force your way through the cultists to cut the bonds of several more captured townsfolk and tell them to run. For each token on this space less than the number of heroes, the party leader chooses a hero and spawns 1 enemy engaged with that hero. For each token on this space, the party leader chooses 1 hero and then upgrades an activation card. Okay, so we're 2 short of 4. So therefore, we have to spawn 2 heroes, and our 2 monsters are going to target a hero. So that's the first thing. And so I'm going to do that, and both of them are going on to Krutzbeck. So it's a sentinel and a witcher. Okay, they don't do anything. They're just engaged. And then we have 2 here. So it says for each token on the space, we get to upgrade an activation card. So what do we do? I mean, that's the cardinal question here. Let's look at the thief. The explore action for the thief is 3 dice. It's really not much of an upgrade. If it says that if you were engaged, you would roll 1 less enemy die, which is okay. Let's look at the Wildlander one. It's 3 dice. This is the same text as always. Here you may discard 1 to choose 2 enemies in the shadows, and then they take damage. Ooh, I do like that. I didn't want to be a Wildlander again. I was thinking of being a thief. But let's look at the Rune Master. I know we were this one before. That forces somebody to retreat. Let's look at the Geomancer. Explore. You may exhaust another activation card to choose 2 enemies, engage with other heroes, and they retreat and suffer a damage. Ooh, I am taking Terracall. That is a wonderful card. So Terracall instead of Repel for our mage. So well done there. And then I'm wondering, do I want to... this heroes regroup. Since Krutzbeck has taken all of the people, so like this rest here says you may exhaust 1 minion, right? For each other activation card you've exhausted. This is pretty standard stuff. It's actually not even much of an upgrade. But let's look at the Berserker one. You may exhaust 1 minion engaged with you. If all your other... You get 2 tokens. So this is a little bit better. And I thought I saw somewhere, maybe it's the Spirit Speaker, one of them lets you exhaust 2 minions that are engaged with you, but apparently it's not. It might be the thief, in fact. Yes, it's a thief. So use one of them as a body shield. So 2 minions engage with you. So this is one you may want to consider, like the thief being a party leader. It's a little weird, but they can exhaust 2 people. But I'm going to choose the warrior. And I am going to take Bar the Way, because if he's going to be taking hits all the time and basically attacking or resting, we're going to at least have an upgraded rest card. So I know it seems weird logic, but I'm going to try it. And I will say this for the umpteenth time. I at least want my scenarios to let me upgrade all my heroes. The fact that I can only upgrade some of them, I will never play this scenario again. This one's going in the trash. Not literally, figuratively. I will play all the other ones, and I will never do this one. Yeah, this one, if you're willing to discard progress from the active location, then you can upgrade. And this one, you only upgrade once. Boy, you guys are stingy, designers. Let us upgrade, for Pete's sakes. Okay, so it's half the fun of the game, is being able to upgrade. Okay, so where are we at? We just did the peril phase. So now we have to do the travel phase. So everybody has exhausted cards except for the mage. So everybody's going to take 1 damage. The thief will get rid of her attack, so she won't take the damage. And I think the cleric will get rid of her attack as well. So I'm taking no damage. Everybody's either going to exhaust a card. Oh no, Krutzbeck took a damage. So 1 damage for Krutzbeck. Exhausted the attack, took a damage, is full, is able to ignore the thing. And then this one got rid of an attack card. So nobody's attacking. Next round. Okay, Krutzbeck has 1 and only 1 action. We're going to bar the way. So we get to exhaust a minion engaged with me. So we're going to exhaust the Hybrid Sentinel. Easy peasy. And then we're going to get to roll 2 dice. And we get to only roll 1 black die, because the Sentinel's exhausted. And we do get a hit, but we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 successes. Oh my gosh. All right, we do get to add 1 shield to the results, and the Goblin Witcher is a master. It's going to do 2 damage. So we block 1, and that's it. So 1 damage is coming through, but I had 6 successes, so that means I'm going to heal 5. So I'm going to take 6 of them here, and then just put 1 back. That was quite amazing, to be honest. To be able to heal 5 like that. All of our regular activation cards were exhausted, so we're going to get to claim 2 tokens, which we desperately need. And ready all of our cards. So we're done. Okay, so now we move on to our mage, and we're going to do Terrinoth. So we get to roll 3 dice. We're going to resolve an exploration card. And we're going to exhaust another activation card to choose 2 enemies engaged with other heroes. Each of them retreats and suffers a damage. So we're going to do that. And I'm going to choose to... We're going to get rid of the aid card. Okay, and then the Goblin Witcher is going to retreat and suffer a damage. And the zombie is going to just die. So that's pretty simple. And let's roll the 3 dice before I forget to do that. Technically speaking, you're supposed to do these in exact order. Obviously, it doesn't matter if the order isn't going to impact anything, which is what I'm doing. But I know some people, it drives them nuts if the rules say do it in exact order and you don't. Okay, so 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 successes. This was the explore action. So we are going to close this encounter this time around. So that's good. And that's a wonderful card. I'm really glad we took that one. And then we get the firebomb. And I'm going to use it right now at the end of my turn. I get to do, well, should I? You know what? If we're moving on to another location, I'm going to hold on to this because all those enemies are going to leave anyways. And I'm not going to be able to kill any of them. So I'm going to hold on to this. We're not going to use it yet. The weekend, by the way, went away. Okay, so I know I've never used her ability, and I probably need to consider that. And that might rush us through the final card. So I may start using it then. But for now, I'm not. So now we get to our thief. And we can, I'm going to do aid. We don't necessarily need it, but the more tokens we can get out, the better, because then we get to place those tokens, right? So I'm going to do this, and I know I'm going reverse order again, but I'm going to claim the 1 for myself. And then the target hero may activate ready a card. So I need to pick one, and I think I'm going to pick the mage and give her the Terra call back. And then we're going to aid the mage. And so there you can see I had, well, this one's out of sight. I had 3 successes. So that's really wonderful. We got a lot of tokens now. And so the mage has 3 successes. And this was actually a very good card for this round. So, and now we get to Ashrian, who has an explore action that doesn't do us any good, or the calming presence. This healing 2 for someone else only works if this card was gone. So I don't know if I want to waste a whole round just to do this, just so I could heal 2. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to do this now. We're going to roll the 2 dice, and I have to skip this part, and then just ready all of our cards. So I'm going to just do that, and let's roll the 2 dice. 1, 2, 3, 4. So Ashrian just healed 4 damage, and that's pretty slick there. And so she's back to full health. Krutzbeck's back to full. The mage has 1 exhausted, and the thief has 3 exhausted. So we get to the peril phase. Or no, we get to the monster phase. Hybrid sentinels are exhausted. And then we have all kinds of stuff. So Krutzbeck is going to take Rita. Rita is going to retreat, inflict, and then behead. So I'm thinking, yeah, so he's going to take 2 damage for the inflict. So we're just going to go up to 4. And then for the behead, it basically says you have to either exhaust a card or suffer 2 damage. And I don't think he has a problem exhausting the aid card. I don't think he's ever going to use the aid card. So we're going to do that. And then Rita is exhausted, so I'm just going to move it a little up. The mage is going to take the Goblin Witcher for 1 damage. Okay. The scout is going to take the other Goblin Witcher for 2 damage. And then Ashrian up there, who has nobody on her, is going to take the Dark Priest for 1 damage. And yes, going to become, excuse me, I need to sneeze again. It's going to become weakened, but as you can see, the Dark Priest is fully healed, so the weakened is just going to go away immediately. So now we get to the peril phase. This just moves up 1, and Krutzbeck will spend 2. No, he won't. We're going to spend 1 from the mage and 1 from the scout. And we're going to put another token on blue here. And then we get to the travel phase, and yes, we are going to travel. So we're going to get out of this location that has been punishing us and go to our final location, which is the Cultist Sanctum. At the end of the travel phase, if this location is not fully explored, spawn 1 enemy face down in the shadows, okay? We're going to have 4 engaged and 2 not engaged. So this sentinel is staying with him because he was engaged. But these ones go away. Now, this is a nemesis, so don't get rid of the nemesis card, but the other 3 automatically disappear, which I'm very happy to do. And then we're going to draw 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 1, 2 come into the shadow. So let's do the 1, 2, 3, 4. I can change the party leader, but I'm not going to. Krutzbeck is going to get the first one, which is the Dark Priest. So Dark Priest on Krutzbeck. The Crow Hag, oh, this is a new one, does Life Thirst. The enemy becomes engaged with the hero with the most exhausted activation cards. And then if the hero engaged with them is weakened, they become poisoned. If they are poisoned, they become weakened. Interesting. So Death Omen. Crow Hag is annoying. Scout is going to get the Rat Swarm. Rat Swarm is actually a pushover. And, ooh, we get a Crypt Dragon. 4 damage. Apply -1 to this enemy's attack value for each damage it has suffered. Okay, so if we do damage to it, it at least does less damage to us. Very happy to know that. But this one's on Ashrian, of all people. So that's an interesting one. And we are off to the races. So Krutzbeck is up again. We need 10 exploration tokens to win this game. And there's a big part of me that's just like, should I just explore, and then we win? And the victory condition says, at the end of the round, if the final location is fully explored, you win. That's it. So I'm leaning towards that's what I need to do. I mean, I have an explore card with Krutzbeck, so let's do it. So I'm going to roll 2 white dice and 2 black dice. Wherever the black dice went. Oh, I have them hidden. I'm hiding them from myself. So I am going to get hit with 1. But I have 1 success, 1 shield, and then this is another success. So 3 successes and 2 shields. This hit is going to be for 2 damage, and I know that because the worst enemy is a 2. So these 2 shields cancel the damage. So Krutzbeck takes no damage and gets 3 successes onto the Cultist Sanctum. And then we're coming here and we're going to for sure do Terracall, for Pete's sakes. I almost forgot. I draw... Oh, I don't... No, wrong card. I need an expiration token and I get to claim a success token. So I'm going to take a success token. And oh, by the way, I forgot. I was going to spend 2 for 2 more successes. That was the whole reason why I kept those. But I forgot to mention it, so I'm just going to keep them. Okay, so I need to remember my exploration card. Ambush. You may exhaust 1 activation card. If you do, choose up to 2 enemies in the shadows. Each of those suffers 1 damage. I'm going to exhaust my attack card because if I can do 2 automatic damage with that, I'm totally okay with it. And one of the enemies that I want to damage is, of course, Rita. And then let's just flip this over and do 1 damage to the Changeling. Actually, I probably want to see everything. So let's do it the other way. Because if you damage... Oh, look, and that's even perfect. I killed the crow hag. So there we go. Okay, back to this. Terracall. Roll 3 dice. Oh, I do have somebody on me. So I need to roll a black die. The black die was perfect. My apologies. Okay. We have 1, 2, 3, 4 successes and a blank. I again forgot to spend 2 tokens. So I'm going to do that this time. I'm not going to punish myself twice. So 1, 2, 3, 4, that's 6 more exploration tokens added on. We're up to 9, by the way, with that. And we get to draw and resolve an exploration card. You may discard this card when a hero is resolving his or her explore action. Add 1 more success, so that's good. I am going to use the firebomb at the end of my turn, but let's finish this off. I can choose to exhaust another card and pick 2 enemies engaged with other heroes, and they each suffer 1 damage. So I'm going to exhaust the attack card, and I'm going to choose 2 enemies to suffer 1 damage, and I'm going to choose the Crypt Dragon, which will do 1 less damage. Or no, I'm going to choose the Hybrid Sentinel, and this Dark Priest is automatically killed. So, gotta like that. All right, so the Terracall is done. And then we're gonna do the Firebomb. And so that's gonna do 1 damage to these 2. They're the only ones left in shadow. So 1 damage there, and 1 damage to the Changeling. And it will be the Scout's turn. So I'm at 42 minutes, and I'm going to take a quick break, and I will come back and resolve the Scout's turn, which is very likely going to be an explore action. So thank you for watching. Stay awesome. See you soon.